I'm here today working with Rama. We also have our distraction dog Hayden, and we wanted to show you the 1-2-3 pattern game. This is a basic but highly effective pattern game that gives us a strategy for moving our dog from point A to point B. We will practice this in a safe location, and once our dog understands that there's a system in place, we can move to a more distracting environment. This is especially useful when we need to move our dog past the distraction or past a trigger that causes our dog to have increased levels of anxiety or arousal. It is easier for our dog to counter-condition a trigger or move past a distraction when they're within the context of a safe, predictable pattern. Okay, let's see how it looks to train with our dog. Here's Rama. When we first start off, we want to build value for the word 3. We do this simply by saying 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Once again, we're counting out loud to our dog and rewarding on 3. So 1, 2, 3, treat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Once our dog recognizes the value in the word 3, then we can go ahead and start to add movement. We'll start off by putting the treat right on our dog's nose and release open palm on 3. So that's 1. Oh, you noticed the distraction here. Let's see if he can come back. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. After our dog does know the behavior, we can still go back to using this basic strategy of putting the treat right on our dog's nose and moving forward or backward with our dog if a distraction is in place. For example, Rama just saw a bike go by. If I needed to move him past that distraction, I could put that treat right on his nose and just move him forward while counting to 3. Once our dog has practiced this behavior, we can go ahead and continue to treat our dog without the treat on his nose. We can also add in movement, just like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Once our dog learns the behavior and is following us with 1, 2, 3, we can then make this a voluntary behavior. We would use the first traditional 1, 2, 3 if we had to move our dog simply from point A to point B, but we can use the voluntary behavior when we want to work with our dog past a trigger and we want to make sure that our dog is ready to move forward. For example, if we have a dog over here, Hayden, we can pretend he's a dog that Rama doesn't know. In that case, I may want to wait for my dog to give me an indication he's ready to move forward. When we play this version of the game, I'm going to put the treat down by my foot. I'm going to wait for the dog to reorient back to me, and that will be my start button behavior to go ahead and continue forward. Come here, Rama. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. Rama was concerned about a trigger, such as Hayden over here. I would want to make sure that he was ready to go and felt good enough to continue his walk forward by waiting for his start button behavior of looking back at me. We'll try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. Touch. Good. As you can see, he noticed the distraction and he did reorient back to me, which cued me to move forward. Once again, looking back at me was my start button behavior that allowed me to know that my dog felt good enough about the activity to move forward. Okay, here we are again. Now you can see we have 2 stations here, and we are going to use 1, 2, 3 as a way to move between the stations. Now those stations can be anything. We often use them at a park as a park bench. Right now we're going to be saying 1, 2, 3 place for him, but we can use this for anything. So let's try again here. You ready, Mama? Place. Good. 1, 2, 3, place. Good. Ready? 1, 2, 3, place. Good. 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 And we're using this as an off-leash exercise at this point. I'm going to see if he returns to me to play again. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. Good. 1, 2, 3. 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 Good job. Once again, that's a default behavior when he's walking, so I always reward it. It's not cute. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now we're going to take 1, 2, 3 walking on the road at the park. 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, he was easily able to move past the people using 1, 2, 3 walking. There he went into a default behavior. He automatically got rewarded for it. And now we can go ahead and move forward at the park. We are moving towards a distracting soccer game, but Rama is still able to continue walking using his predictable 1, 2, 3 pattern. Good. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, we're using the voluntary version of 1, 2, 3, where I look for Rama to reorient back to me before we move forward. This is because this is a very distracting environment with a high level of triggers, so we want to make sure that we are using our start buttons and making sure that our dog feels good enough to move forward before we progress. Waiting for a look back makes me feel confident that Rama feels good enough to move forward past these distractions. Despite the triggers, he's doing very well because we're making sure that he feels good enough to move forward. He's staying under his arousal levels and is still continuing to move past the triggers. Good job. Here we are continuing on the other side of the park, near the distracting soccer game. We're still continuing to use the voluntary version of 1, 2, 3 to make sure that he's still feeling good about himself. As you can see, he notices the distraction but still reorients back to me. That's my cue that he's still feeling good enough to continue moving forward in this environment.
1, 2, 3. Yes.
We're putting the treat on the ground at some points to make sure that he gives me a very clear signal that he's still under arousal levels and can still continue to move forward. When he starts to focus on the trigger, I simply put a reset treat on the ground and wait for him to reorient back.
2, 3. Good. Finish. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. Look at Fred. Good.
Here you can see how we can easily combine "look at that" to point out a distraction walking past.
Yes. 1.
And then we can move right back into 1, 2, 3.
Yes, nice job. Where's the ball? Good. 1, 2, 3. Yes. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. Good. This way. Mommy, you ready?
Now we'll have Caden join us so you can see how 1, 2, 3 walking can easily be used with 2 dogs.
2.
We simply create a pattern by rewarding our first dog first each time, followed by rewarding our second dog. Our second dog picks up that this is simply part of the pattern and that he'll get rewarded next. 1, 2, 3 walking helps me walk over 200 pounds of dogs safely and effectively at the park.
1, 2, 3. 1,
Thank you for joining us. I hope you and your dog have a fun time with the 1, 2, 3 pattern game.